Hello everyone, you're welcome to the Luminary Lounge podcast. My name is Theophilus and I'm here with
Ayekons.
On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about setting goals in your 20s, getting it right in your 20s, right?
And getting it right in your 20s, some people, maybe they are destined not to get it right in their 20s.
Well, these are some of the things that we're going to actually investigate.
So you've been saying that
in their 40s.
No. Let me from 10 to 20.
Okay.
I don't know. Everything they call them 10s.
But I think it's an interesting way to start this conversation.
Yeah.
Is everybody going to get it right in their 20s? Because
can't be everybody.
Let me tell you something. I personally believe that some people their life will not start taking like real good shape until their 30s. For some people, even in their 40s,
their life just started.
You get? Because I remember when what's it called? Adekunle Gold released his about 30 album. He actually did say that his life started taking shape in his 30s. He started figuring whatever he want, the things he wanted out. He started figuring his life out. He started making so much money. He started getting really better at what he wanted to do in his 30s.
So I mean, like you said, some people life started at 40, 30. Some people immediately they don't cross 10 like this. Don't start. So I feel like it boils down to individual self-development, right?
No shoe fits all.
No, like you mentioned for Adekunle Gold, right? Maybe if he may enter his 20s, he has been a lot of learning in progress. He has been taking corrections, building himself, setting some realistic goals, self-development, self-discipline, and maybe immediately he crossed that 20, that entered 30. That's now when he can now implement most of those things that he has, And
I also personally believe, maybe it's an extreme, right? But I don't think it is. I also believe that you're actually not supposed to figure out your life at 20. Now, I know we have a number of things we want to highlight, right? Mm-hmm. But have this at the back of your mind that you're not necessarily meant to figure out. Now, operative word being figure out. Do you get? You can have an idea. You can have a set of plans. You can make certain, goals and all of certain ambitions in your 20s. But I do not believe that we are meant to have our lives figured out in our 20s. And I know that the pressure is a lot, especially if you're a Nigerian living in Nigeria. Where
boys they buy house for Lekki, they never reach 30.
My guy, make I no lie. The number of boys who they buy house for Lekki, the way they do legit work, they no reach the people where they do illegal work.
But if you verify people where they.
I guess, but then we can have a safe assumption.
No way, I know some tech bros and tech sis that they are buying houses in Lekki.
Well, I know quite a number of tech bros and tech sis that have not bought house in Lekki.
And we gotta know people who never.
You get my point is no shoe fits all. But okay, let's
even realistically, right? Even buying out does not mean you have your life figured out.
Exactly. You might just the opportunity meets funds.
Our trust funds boys.
Trust fund babies.
Because there are a lot of things actually, like
there are a lot of factors.
Because setting goals, like let's take it back.
Career goals.
No. Before you get to career goals, you have to know what's career first. Like, how do you want? So let's take it like latile from the root. Go. Growing up, we are first an human before we now say, okay, this is what I want to do in life. We're just, growing up is what we are seeing, what we are listening to. Things that they are telling us that forms our life, that says that okay, this kind of life I want to live, right? Because someone like me, when I was growing up, right, I grew up Baba na Oud. I mean, I been grew up, and if you grew up for now, lucky they born you, ba.
Me they born for Oshogbo State.
So although me I be Lagos boy, but the kind of area that I was brought up, area whereby adversities, you see a lot of things. You choose a life you want. Do you understand? Because you are exposed to a lot of things. And I said that okay, I think I want to go with this one. I think I want to go with this one, right? So a lot. And also you also influence a lot of people. What you see growing up, your subconscious that it will like your day-to-day activities. When I was growing up, there's just this particular person that he actually played a huge impact on my life, right? Because he's very reserved. He's a very reserved person. He works in a bank. He works in the UBA at that time, right? And the first thing is how he dress. He's so corporate. He do it like his hair is always neat. You always see him ironing his clothes. So he influenced me as a person that, I love how this person has.
Did you want to be a banker then?
It was not even about the bank. I don't want to be a banker, right? But his composition, the way he composes himself, the way he carries himself,
he lived his life.
You understand? It was like, not because he has had his life together, but because there's a particular pattern where he's okay, I want to go this route. Do you understand? He has been able to develop himself to say, okay. So what am I saying in the sense that growing up, some of the things we also, before we get to our 20s, some of the things we have seen growing up, I feel like it also influence us to say, okay, this kind of life I want to choose, this kind of life I want to live, which it might not work for everybody. We have seen people, let's say people that grow up emotional. People know people that once you are from Mushin, you'll be violent person.
Yeah.
But I have a particular friend. Her name is Latifa. Like you wouldn't know she's from Mushin.
Wow.
Do you understand? Like the way she carries herself, you understand? Prim and proper. You understand? So I guess what we see growing up also influence who we want to become.
Yeah. So I agree with you because I remember growing up. So my mom works at police pay office, yeah?
Police?
No, my mom is not police. My mom's an accountant. She's an accountant, but she works at the office where the salaries of policemen are paid. Are being paid. So every time we're on break or holidays, I always follow her to work because I was the only one. I think I was the youngest then. So my younger sister. I'm sorry. I was the oldest rather, okay. And I was either the only child or maybe my younger sister, my middle younger sister. Yeah, at that time, or my middle younger sister was still in the picture, but she used to stay at my grandma's place, not too far from my house. So my mom's office was close to the library, the state library in Oshogbo. So every time I followed her to work, she drops me off at the library at the library first before she goes to our office. So I'm going to be in the library. I remember I read every volume, every book about space science, astrology and astronomy, like every book in the state library. Like I loved reading those books. They were really interesting. I was fascinated by the pictures, by outer world, outer space, and I wanted to be either an aeronautic engineer or an astronaut, right? At some point, I wanted to be in the Air Force, right? Because of those books that I read, and it was really interesting for me. And because I was surrounded by these books, these things, and I used to watch science fiction. Like my mom and my uncle, I grew up watching movies and playing games. I watched Star Wars, so I was surrounded by those things, those imageries, and all of those things. So it formed my mindset. It formed my ambitions. I wanted to be an astronaut. Then going into primary school or into secondary school rather, I was in a school where we had more science students than art students. So somehow my ambitions just deviated into not space science now, deviated into medical sciences. So everybody wanted to be a doctor, or most people wanted to be a doctor. Then I was I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor. Meanwhile, I mean that's like a whole conversation, anyways, because my eyes saw shaggy. I should have actually.
Because I just wanted to ask you, say,
what did they do now?
What did they do now?
I should have actually just stick to either art or social sciences because down the line I realized that I was better suited for art and social sciences than for medical sciences, even though I really liked astrology, space science, and all of those things, right? So, like you said, what the things we see growing up, or the things we're exposed to growing up, they formed our ambitions, our belief system, and our interest, right? So, and I mean, it takes a level of training or a level of self-discipline or separation, consecration, as it were, to deviate from the things that you were exposed to growing up. And I want us to talk about it in this way. I want us to address how to set goals in your 20s, right? Because honestly, quite a number of people were confused in their 20s. I'm sure maybe some of us were even confused in our 20s, because at some point you wanted to be a medical doctor, then at some point you wanted to be a lawyer. You just wanted to be anything that looked cool.
My mom actually wanted me to be a lawyer.
You see now, and look at what you're doing right now. So I mean, quite a number of people are confused. I'm sure some of our listeners are in their 20s, even a lot of them are in their 30s. Like, for those of us that, for those of, not me, because I'm not yet there, in my 30s, I'm still in my 20s, I'm still a Gen Z, please. I identify as a Gen Z. So for some of us that, still are in our 20s.
Who are some of us?
Me.
You.
And the many millions that are watching us. But for some of you that are already in your 30s and the many millions in your 30s. So I want us to address it from both perspectives, so that for those in their 20s, they were able to, take the right steps.
In our 20s.
Okay. Let's agree to disagree. For those in their 20s, they can, be able to not make the same mistakes we made. And for those of us in our 30s, we can, be able to make the best of what we have right now.
I don't know, I might be wrong.
Okay.
Right, but I feel like a lot of people, they start living or start making life decisions when they enter university.
Yeah, I mean,
do you understand?
Pretty much most people.
Like, when you're in secondary school, you have an idea of this is what you want to be, but you are not sure yet.
Because you're not calling the shots.
Yes, because university is when
you are exposed to other people. You're not under your parents' roof, another life entirely.
So your life is in your hand, and when you enter our institution, right? There are different lives.
Yeah.
Now you can't choose say the kind of life where I want to choose with this. There's the social life, there's the.
And the weird thing was I was pretty social in university, right? I mean, let me blow my trumpet a little bit. I lived with, worked with people who have now become celebrities now. Fireboy DML and I were in the same dance group back in university. Like, I didn't say I knew him. We called him DML, Damola. We're in the same dance group. Do you get? I knew people like Chinkwe Kun, I knew people like Barrister Mike, MC Lively, all of those people. Timi Agbaje, all of those people. Like, Arole and I at some point stayed in the same room, like we lived in the same room for like a whole session or something. Do you get? So I had interest in many things. It took me a long time before I realized that this is what I wanted to do with my life, or these are my interests. I did different things. I did sciences, social sciences. I was in, like, if I tell you the number of departments I had transferred to, from chemistry to zoology. I was in estate management at some point for like a session. I was that.
That's a story for another day.
I'm going to tell you that story later. But my point is, many of us missed it early in life, or many of us made a whole lot of mistakes early in life because we didn't have people to, to put us through, to let us understand that, okay, you might have certain interests, you might have certain ambitions, but this is how you can figure out what you want to do with your life on the long run. And this is how you can navigate all of these interests and life decisions and all of those things.
So for me, actually, it's actually a different approach, right? Because me doing what I'm doing currently, being a filmmaker, being in the media space, well, just because. Okay, now let me give you some backstory, right? When I was growing up, I used to be the guy in the house whereby I be the photographer of the house.
Oh, nice.
If they want to take any photo, yeah, do you get? Like, they'll just give me their phone, say, yeah, help me take pictures. But not because I want to become a photographer, right? It was even, I think one of my sisters was saying that, I think you know how to do this thing, but I wasn't taking it that serious, right? So, but for me, I think I started knowing I think when I was growing up, after secondary school, I was like, I think I want to communicate with a lot of people. I want to talk to a lot of people. So, but at that time, I've been exposed to media, knowing because at that time was radio. Every Sunday, you are listening to radio, you are using VHS, you understand? CD, you put CD inside.
You're old.
Calm down.
As a features, you know, old.
Calm down. Yeah.
You supposed to get like 3 picking like this. No.
I beg, I'm a Gen Z, I beg. I think I'm Gen Z.
You identify as Gen Z.
So, at that time, I was like, okay, I think I also want to talk to a lot of people, right? But not in front of camera. So at some point, I felt like breaking in was, okay, I can actually be a mass communicator. I'm a storyteller. How can I break into the market? Not because I love cameras, because I want to communicate with people. And I said, okay, the easiest way to communicate with people is to get into media, right? Which is media communication, which is what I studied in school as well.
Oh, nice.
Mass communication, right? Was because I want to communicate with a lot of people. I want people to know that, okay, this is what I have to say. Okay, this is the story I have, right? And what kind of person I am. I'm passionate about anything that has to do with societal topics, something that can solve a problem, that we can bring change and all of those things. Being that growing up, those are some of the things I was exposed to growing up, because I saw what was going on in my society as then, and I felt like there are a lot of things that needs to be changed, a lot of narrative that needs to be changed. So it influenced me to say that, I want to bring positive impact to my community.
Right.
So I was big on anything that has to do with social.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, it was not because, I love to handle cameras, not because I love how to snap with a phone or something, but I just want to communicate with people, right? So over time, I said, I was like, I think you know how to do these things, which I was not seeing it.
Yeah.
Then, but over time, I started embracing it.
At some point, I had someone like that in my life. My cousin, one of my cousins, like that. When I wanted to cross again from chemistry.
Oh boy, you waka gone.
More long gone, baje. From chemistry to estate management. When I wanted to take that last step and take another jam, she was like, Theophilus, go to social sciences or dramatical. Said because I do realize
theater art.
Theater, yeah, that's what she told me. She said you are more suited or fitted for that aspect of your life than for the sciences, because she has seen me do more of social work, social sciences, politics than sciences. Do you know how crazy it is? I never passed chemistry and physics beyond C4. The highest I ever had in chemistry and physics was C4. Most times C5, C6. I didn't fail. I was a brilliant student. But every other courses, every other subject, I was like A, B. But anything science courses, I was not passing them. Mathematics, B3, B2. But physics, chemistry, or more C5, C6. every time, from SS1 to SS3. I should have realized then that I was better suited for this, but I didn't realize it. I didn't have that person directly in my life until I started getting close to my cousin who went to OAU at the time. So it was even when she went to OAU, that was when we started talking that much and all of those things. So I didn't have that figure.
So even to add to what you're saying, right? Because for me, I remembered that. I think my sister.
I remember Nibati. I'm sorry. It just came to my mind.
Shout out to Podivu, by the way.
Shout out to Podivu.
And Skepta. So my sister just called me randomly because I left my parents' house immediately after why.
You don't also.
No, because when I was staying with my parents, right, I feel like the kind of life I want to pursue, I can't pursue in this house. Right.
You need to be a bad guy.
Not because I want to be a bad guy, because if I'm taking those moves, they'll be like, am I a bad guy? I'm moving. Because now I'm in the media space, right?
You have to go at that.
Anything that makes me come back by 8, 9. What are you doing outside? I feel like, you know what? I'm not going to achieve my dream for this house. Not because they were chasing me, and not because I'm sure that I can achieve what I wanted to do outside. But something inside of me just said that I should just move.
You have to leave your comfort zone.
I just want to leave my comfort zone.
You need to go into those deep water.
Then I went to my family's house around Abesoyan State at that time. Right, something just occurred to me that wait, my sister once mentioned something about this thing, and I started align with what I want to do. Okay, how can I do this? I didn't even have the resources at that time, right? But I called someone, right? Shout out to Tag Media. Say, bro, this is what I want to do. Blah 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 blah. I was like, this is how you can go about it. It was not even about giving me what I need. It was just telling me how I can break in just now, which is, he said that social media, go on YouTube, go on Google and all of those things. At that time, I didn't even have a laptop. I was about to enter university at that time, right?
You're like 1980 something, have you?
Kilo share.
I'm sorry.
Gen Z.
Yeah, no problem.
So at that time, I was like, okay. What am I saying in essence is that I already know that this is what I want to do, but I don't have the resources to pursue my career at that time. Then I started doing a job at that time, like wasn't 9 to 5 per se, right?
But you were having to collect salary.
I was doing something,
salary.
any salary. Not because that's what not because I was
but
just
you
wanted
needed
to make money.
something to fund what you wanted to do.
Something to fund.
And that's what I'm not going to talk about that down the line.
Yeah, not because it's not like, okay, this is what I want to do. Jackpot. I can't afford the resources for anything, but I know, okay, I can work for it. So when I get those things, right, then I can now divert to say, okay, I now have the resources. So it was like a pattern for me, not because I don't get sense like that. I don't get sense like that, brother. Just now, but like there's this. I'm always intentional. I think that's the word for me. And if it's not working, it's not working. Just understand. I've not explored a lot of things in my life, right? But the little I've explored has been working because, whenever I want to do something, I look at the advantage and disadvantages. Yeah. Okay, which one benefits me more? Which one makes more sense? Which ones align with me personally when it comes to self-development, right? Then I was able to, get resources. Then when I got those resources, then I make use of those resources to fund my career that I'm currently living right now. I don't know. I'm not going to change career.
I mean,
yeah.
Whatever I can tell, Sha.
So what am I saying in essence is that right from time, I've always known that, okay, this is what I wanted to do. And there's one thing about my parents, which I actually give it to them, is that whenever you say you want to do something, I'm able to give them a concrete reason that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the reason why I'll be doing it, and this is the result you can get from it. They just tell you that, okay, whatever you are doing, know where you are coming from and know where you are going. We know they can't look for a person for police station. Absence. You understand? So that's like a reminder that nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah.
You understand? But at some point in life, you have to lose yourself to find yourself. But it might not be like that for everybody.
True.
Do you understand?
For some people, their path are already, created. They already have something. Yeah, I would like us to talk about finding your passion and purpose, right? And for some people, it was easy for them to find their passion and purpose, what they want to do from the get-go. For some, see, the truth is, finding your passion and purpose doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the one to do it. Don't get me wrong. For example, imagine you're born into a family of lawyers. Naturally, you would tilt towards that end. We mentioned that the things that we eventually believe in or we do are a result of the things we grew up with. Your subconscious, we're surrounded with. And for some people, they found fulfillment doing what they were born into, and that's totally fine. For some other people, they will deviate entirely, totally from what they grew up with. Right now, also knowing that for some people, it's going to be easy for you to find passion and purpose. It's going to be seamless. The journey is going to be easy and seamless. You realize what you want to do. So, for example, I'm an event MC. It was easy for me to, be an event MC, such that the reason why they call me life of the party now is not because I just became life of the party. I have always been the life of the party from secondary school. Exactly. From secondary school, I have always been the energetic dancer, and make people laugh and all of those things. I can talk to anybody. I'm confident and all of those things. But I know other event MCs that are equally as good. They are probably better than me, and they are not extroverted, but they had to go through all those series of training, intentional,
and maybe some are just corporate hosts.
So corporate hosts, you get. Of course, I do corporate events, right? But I know people that are not as extroverted as I am, and they do very well with corporate events as well. You get. So I realized that sometimes in you finding out your passion and purpose, it could be straight. It could be a straight road. For some other people, it could actually be very difficult. And also, our interests differ. See the things that you're interested in, things that they are the top of your priority. So that when it comes to interest, they are number one there. They are usually the things that become your passion and your purpose, the things that fuel your convictions, your what will probably make you money. Then now that would lead me into saying that some people are interested in certain things, but they are lazy they are not ready to put in the work.
The work required to achieve that.
So imagine you want to be a doctor and you are not interested in reading. You don't want to be a bookworm,
experimenting a lot of things.
Yes, or you want to be a lawyer. You don't know how to engage in conversations, argue, or actually sit down.
Or you are being biased.
Or sit down to actually read. You have to cultivate the habit. You cannot just say, "Oh, my passion is so. My purpose is this," and you're not working towards that purpose. It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket
science. It will not work. You will fail woefully.
Some people, trust me, fear of I don't know what might happen because I've seen someone doing this kind of thing and he failed. So that's psychology of
people.
I'm not sure I might be
people are scared of failure.
People are scared of failure, right? And that mental well-being too, because like now, growing up, so go to school. Some people till today, they feel like school is scam. Because maybe in their family, in their society, there are some people that all their life is book. But see where their life is today. It's not going nowhere. So that fear of, you don't want to go to school again. And so that thing might have affected them mentally. But maybe without not getting enough education as well, they'll believe that that's just where life ends. Do you understand? I feel like I said earlier, subconscious, they fuck with human being a lot. What you see every day. Because there are some Egbadugo that year.
It's like Egbadugo.
I know they fuck with you. Like
I know Egbadugo.
That year, like I know some people will say na book. Like we for university they see some lecturers will say they don't create for book. But they're not getting enough.
But maybe they're not making more money.
Maybe they're not making money. So why do you want to tell someone that you are telling someone that
school is
way of life?
And to be honest, that's because our idea of money is we think money is the end. Do you get?
Yeah.
And usually money, and in fact, not usually, I think money is a means to an end. Money in itself is not the end. I tell people, formal education is not scam. Maybe the Nigerian education system is scam.
It's not even.
The Nigerian education system is actually very shitty, very crazy, very terrible.
Not properly structured.
It's terrible, right? But formal education has never been a scam.
Never.
As structureless or as terrible as the education system in Nigeria is, many people have gone through this education system and have made something amazing out of their lives.
Yeah.
Right? The truth is, you are never at a disadvantage having a formal education.
No. Never.
See, if you go to the worst of schools in Nigeria, you are never at a disadvantage having a BSc or a first degree.
Of course.
You are never at a disadvantage.
Of course. So that's why, if we have to be honest, setting goals at 20, setting goals at 30, society is
the first thing you need to
major factor. Knowing for a fact that this is what you see every day. And now you can't tell me that this water is white, but what I'm seeing is brown. How can you prove to me that this water is white? Do you understand? So now you can't tell a young mind that school is a way of life when every day he's seeing his brothers living in the same area, roaming about, and they are both educated because they actually went to school and they know that book. Do you understand? So now society needs to be regulated, properly regulated, both social media. See what is going, internet scam is a whole lot. Whereby people just feel like, the only way to live some kind of life
is to scam people.
Right? So now I feel like setting goals first off, you have to be self-disciplined, knowing for a fact that this is what I want to do. Because this Mr. Lagbaja has done that, it doesn't work for him, doesn't mean maybe he approached it wrongly.
Or maybe we said something one time that you can actually do everything right, and it still not get it wrong. But the truth is, as much as we have examples where everybody, and that's just the reality of life, whereby you can do everything right and the outcome is still wrong. But the truth is, at least you are better off than somebody who has not done everything right.
Everything right.
Because one thing you can be sure of, they will never get a right result.
No, they won't.
So regardless, like we said, we should have to cultivate healthy habits for physical and mental well-being, which starts with, if you can, get a formal education.
Yeah.
Get a first degree if you can. When I mean if you can, I mean there's certain people that they are disadvantaged. They are, they are not privileged to, have somebody to take them through school, and it's unfortunate, it's painful, but it's the sad reality of life. But if you can, get a formal education.
But you know that, in my own opinion, school is one factor, and having knowledge about something is another thing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So having knowledge, that's what the streets will teach you. Do you understand? Like, even as our parents don't give birth to us, no be only parents fit take care of child. The street self they take care of child.
You know there's a Yoruba adage, ojú mẹ́rin ló ń bímọ, ìgbà ojú ló ń wọ́mọ.
Do you understand?
Which means 4 eyes give birth to a child, conceive a child. Many eyes are the ones that train the child. Yeah.
So which makes me say that you need to be knowledgeable. Aside from you being educated. You guys just get sense. No, everybody gets sense. I just know how to use it. Do you understand? So I feel like and one other thing is that once you know that this is what you want to do, try and embrace it. Ask questions. Educate yourself. Right? Move with people in line with that kind of
they're in that kind of field, that have that kind of experience,
industry, kind of experience. But most particularly, have a mentor in that field. So that they can guide. Because
so that you don't make the same mistake they made.
You understand? Experience is the best teacher. Look at the people. You understand? Failure is part of the process. Embrace it.
And you should be able to learn from failures and setbacks. Like embrace it. Like, oh, you have failed. Yeah, that's amazing. Move on with it. Do you get? Learn to accept it, that okay, this was what happened, this was what I did wrongly, or I did this rightly, I got this what's it called, because other factors. So don't let failure scare you from trying again. And also I also think that we should adjust goals as circumstances change, right? Because you have tried something one way, it didn't work, adjust it again, tweak something about it. Try something else. And that's because like we said, circumstances change. Do you get? Our realities are different.
Even lives have they change.
Yes.
Like, okay, now let's say 5 years back, the way people approach things is quite different now. So you can't use that 5 years ago approach to now. It won't work.
It won't work. Yeah.
Do you understand? Now that even a 10-year-old child can have access to the internet. Back then it might not be like that. You understand?
Do you know how much you were selling SIM cards? MTN SIM card for 45,000 naira, for 50k that time. And 50k was a lot of money those years. I mean, also one of the things you should also do in getting it right in your 20s, right, is celebrate your little wins. Don't wait till you have all those big money that you think, all those big achievements. Oh, you had an A in one of your courses, celebrate it. You were able to achieve certain milestones, little milestones, celebrate it. Because yourself. To be honest, if you are always waiting for that time when you have that big money, it might never come. It's funny that people don't realize that most of the billionaires we have in the world, of the billionaires we have in the world, there are few billionaires in their 40s. Of course. Even some in their most 20s. Of the billionaires we have in the world are in their 50s, their 60s. Most of the billionaires we have in the world, right? And another sad reality is not everybody is going to be a billionaire. Of course. And then not a lot of people are actually even going to be billionaires. Yes, now, so even it might not be it might not become a billionaire, but it might be impactful. Exactly. Your legacy might forever. Forever. Do you get? Yeah. And that doesn't mean you have not achieved. That doesn't mean you're not fulfilled. You haven't achieved a lot. That doesn't mean you're not fulfilled in life. There's nothing like setting a legacy whereby people are leveraging on. Do you understand? So even when you mentioned that celebrating your little wins. Some people will work themselves out, and you can't even take yourself out. You can't even say, work all month. Baba, go club. Salary. Clubs. Not the kind of club you go. See, clubs are too far. You have worked your ass off throughout the month. Take yourself out. Go to a restaurant. For a solo date. Just go and just see life. Now your money. Now you work for your money. Enjoy it. Don't wait till you have that millions before you go. If you cannot go for a vacation in Dubai or in Maldives, go to Abeokuta.
Go to Yaba.
Go to
Go to Ibadan.
Go to Ikogosi Warm Spring.
Go to LCC.
Go to LCC. Chike, go to LCC here. Go to JJT Park in Ikeja. Chike. So I mean, you don't need to have all of those big things before you enjoy life. Chike, all those little things. And also, I also believe that stay motivated and focus on long-term objectives. Yeah. So I think that people should make long-term goals and short-term goals. Short-term goals in the sense that
this is realistic.
Yeah, realistic, or especially the long-term goals. It has to be realistic. But what makes those long-term goals achievable are your short-term goals. Yeah. Like, make goals that, okay, in the next 1 month, I can be able to achieve this. I should be able to get to this point. In a week, in 3 months, or in 1 year, I should be able to get this. Long-term goals that, the things I've been able to do, I've been able to achieve in months, or in few weeks, or in a few years, should be able to last me for 10 years.
Right.
Do you get? Those short-term goals help you, realize your eventual or your long-term goals. Yeah. So I think people should especially invest more energy in their short-term goals. Yeah, because it's actually going to help you. It's when you build all those, we say little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. Yeah. So all of those things are very, very important.
I think the key word here is realistic goals.
Realistic, like you have to. So you have to be sincere with yourself. That's the thing. You have to be sincere to yourself. You're about to say something that. I'll say to you, èèyàn méjì ń padà nù rọ ẹni tó máa parọ́ fún tí ò bá mọ̀ ẹni tó ń parọ́ mọ̀.
àmọ́ pé èmi fúnra mi báyìí mo ń parọ́.
Yeah, so what that means is that if two people cannot, they can't be on the receiving end of lies. Of course. The person that they are lying to, if he doesn't know, the person that is lying knows that he's lying. Yeah. So I mean, you can't lie to yourself. Then also you have to reflect and evaluate, right? Take time to reflect on your progresses. As much as you have celebrated your small wins, reflect on it. See what you did right. See the things you've done right. See the ways you have to go through the processes. See, processes are actually very important. I think people put in too much effort into the outcome. That they neglect the process. A lot of times, the outcome you are looking for is actually in the process that you're neglecting. Of course. And also, another thing I want to say is that the future you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding. Like, you want to be a big person, you want to be, influential, but you're avoiding taking those little steps. Yeah. You're not reading books, and you say you want to be a nation builder. How you want to build a nation when you know like all those little things. See, processes are very important.
Once you cross to that 20, right, that you're in your 20s, there's some certain things that you have to be very careful, right? And
because it's a formative year.
Yeah, because number one thing is your carcass.
Yeah. See, very important.
See, your carcass will determine
how far you're going. Like your carcass will let you know that, okay, I have the strength to do certain things. Your carcass will let you know that, bro, I believe in you. You understand? But if you are not among an LD environment, LD associations with, trust me, it can affect a lot of things. And because my mom will always say that the kind of friend you start making in your 20s determine your next life. Yes. In fact, guess what? The friends you make in your 20s are the network that your children are going to bank on. Do you get? Yes. So I mean, your friends in your 20s are the people that become the governor, the heads of organizations. Those are your network that your children are going to bank on. So I mean, it's important to your
network. Your network is like, because I know I have some few friends, right? They are very good, very brilliant, but they have lost it. Not because they can't make it. Not because they are not living life, but on some aspects they have lost it. Do you understand? And so it's very important to know that, okay, this is my association, right? And as well, you need to we've discussed, like, you need to know how to take responsibilities, whereby your carcass can tell you that, my guy, this way they do I'm like this, do I'm like that. So you need to know how to take corrections too, because you are not seeing yourself, right? You can't prostrate for yourself, but you can use mirror to prostrate for yourself, which means you are still the one that will influence whatsoever you want to do. So your carcass is very, very important. Make sure that you are, and aside from the fact that you want to move with some good people, make sure it's LD, because that's when people say that the moment you are growing, it's lonely at the top. Fine, it's lonely at the top, But
is it really lonely at the top?
Is actually really lonely at the top.
Is
because
it?
yes,
What makes you think it's lonely at the top?
no, chill. I mean, it's my own opinion, no.
How?
Right? Because as you are growing,
You think say that only you go date top?
no. It's not because it's not only you, but based on say there are some certain things as they grow in life, your realities they change.
I agree.
Your sense of responsibility they
Will change.
and as they grow, as they enter new level, trust me, some friends go to drop.
No, of course.
Yes,
no, that is true.
Your
However,
friends go dey
as you
drop.
are growing to grow with your people now.
You can go with your people, but
But some people
it's
will naturally
complicated
just
because some people
you just not
you
naturally
can't
fall by
change
the
some
wayside.
people.
I agree
and,
with you actually.
And know that in your 20s is not when you want to start going to party every time.
Exactly.
You
Like
want to start investing in things that I know that does not make sense.
you get
That
like
won't add value.
I do, as much as I'm all for living your best life,
I mean,
having
enjoy the
fun,
little
enjoy life, enjoy time, make memories with your friend. But really, your 20s is not the time where you're partying.
Because your
when you're
20s
partying every weekend.
Because when you're in your 20s, right, and people that are in their 30s, 40s that can easily help you, but if they are not seeing that value proposition in you,
and
in
they
your
won't
20s,
help you. In your 20s, they won't help you. Do you
Do
get?
you understand?
And
they
then
won't even want you to come close to
and
them.
then honestly, you should use your 20s and 30s as well. That is when you are really, really still strong physically and mentally. Like those are the times that you are supposed to really hustle hard. Build. Yes, try out a lot of things. Try and error. Do you get? Build a lot of things. Build capacity.
And your 20s can always restart a lot of things.
Thank you. You can restart a lot. Once you enter your 30s, you're already. The society is already giving you that stigma that 30 plus. Do you get?
30 plus,
but your 20s,
and they are expecting some certain
things from you. But your 20s, see, if you fail multiple times, and I'm glad that, see, my brother, I'm glad that I failed a lot in my 20s and I restarted. See, when I told you I spent a lot of years in school, I kept restarting. I kept going back. I did jam 2 times. I passed those 2 times. I crossed department. I failed many courses. I did them over again. I told myself, so far I'm not 30. Do you get? The fact that, in fact, one of the things that you even put a what's it called, a benchmark on your progress in life as a 30 is when you clock 30. When you clock 30, you can't serve. You can't serve in NYSC.
Are you serious?
Yes. When you're in your 30s, you cannot. Once you clock 30, you can't serve in the NYSC. Do you get? At least that was what I knew then. Do you get? So I kept telling myself, no matter the number of times I fail, I will keep trying out. I try to know that I want to serve before my 30. I want to be in NYSC before my 30.
Because if you're in your 20s, our brain is still wired to, explore
a lot of things.
And we are still emotionally strong. In your 30s, you can still be emotionally strong, but on a different level. Do you understand? Because when in your 30s, there's societal expectation, family expectation.
Even you are already putting yourself under pressure. You should have achieved certain things.
And right now, I think some other people too are getting it wrong. Is that in your 20s, you're putting a lot of pressure
on yourself.
Do you understand?
That's why I was saying that you actually you are not meant to exactly have figured out life in your 20. 20 is,
but it's better to at
least
good to have a roadmap.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's better
20s is when you do trial and error. 20s is when 20s is your canvas to paint. If you don't get it right, delete, paint again, start all over again. That's what your 20s are for. And
in your 20s too, take it easy when you're taking in information, right? Because in a situation, I've been in a situation whereby there are some certain things that I find difficult making a decision because I have a lot of information about that thing. So coming to a conclusion, I don't know, is it a right thing? Because I analyze a lot. I know that you make I don't like this, or make I not don't like this. You understand? So soaking your head with a lot of information, it might not be able. It might not.
It has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
There's a pro, because to be honest, in your 20s, you will get a lot of information.
A lot of information.
In your 20s, they could be good, they could be bad, right? And that's why we said, even if it's bad, you can really start. That's why it's called your 20s.
But even if you have a lot of information, so one thing that have happened that you can do your analytics to say, okay, this one will bring this kind of results, this one will bring this kind of results. Okay, this one will attract me to some certain people. This one will attract me to some certain people. Okay, let me just rather go for this one. Sure, understand.
That's why I'm beefing the Gen Zs, because they have their 20s now to try different things. Me, I can't try. Well, it's not like I'm in my 30s. I'm just saying.
And another thing that when you're in your 20s is that make sure that your mental well-being is stable. Making sure that you are getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
You understand? You are involved in some societal activities. You understand? That can keep your body active. That can keep your brain running. You understand? Go to the gym. Make sure. I mean, just engage yourself in healthy activities.
Don't be found wanting. Don't be found lazy. Don't lazy around.
Because in your 20s, when you are not in good headspace, it will mess up a lot of things. Then that's now when you feel like, okay, you want to go into substance consumption, which can easily mess you up.
That's in fact most of the people that have had issues with abuse, drug abuse, and have started in their 20s.
In 20s, and now some people, right? They will say that their own substance consumption is to tap out of reality. And I know some people that they can't live in their reality because even them, they are ashamed of their current reality. So the only way they can live their day-to-day life is them living off their. So how did they live off that reality?
They take substance.
They take substance consumption because they don't want to be in that phase. But in your 20s is not when you want to say that you don't want to live off your
face your fear,
face that reality,
face it head on.
Do you understand?
If you fail, try again. If you are missing out, try again. If you have questions,
even if
try
you're not
again.
getting it
you have
right,
different interests, try it again.
If you're not getting it right, see, you can see a therapist, see this thing, see all of those things, because trust me, that 20s, in as much that it sounds very interesting, also very dangerous.
And trust me, it's very fast. All of a sudden, you don't come out 20 something.
Early 20s now, you don't turn
25. Once you don't enter 25, you don't enter 30.
No, you go down the year. I was in my early 20s, last years, but now
all of a sudden they are 29.
Late 20s.
You get, it's weird. Like the 20s are very, very fast.
It's
like very fast.
Very
So honestly, I think we've had a very good conversation about this. I'm sure that at some point we're still going to talk more.
Yeah.
Especially in the line of depression, we're still actually going to dwell so much about that, and I'm sure we're still going to have more conversation.
I think we can even have like
we're going to have
part 2 of this episode, because
and we're going to bring another person to come and
because some people right now, trust me, and this is like real life, right? Real life, bro, like real life. There are some people, because in their 20s they're really living off past trauma. Not because of them, but family, the kind of where they're coming from.
We are going to talk about traumatic experiences as a child and how it affects us growing up.
Yeah, like childhood trauma.
We're actually going to talk about that.
You understand? Because it's giving, he has given them a lot of restrictions that child go fit achieve this kind of thing like this, child go fit achieve this kind of thing like this. You understand? And some people, they don't know how to figure it out because they don't have people. When you have people around you, it will give you some kind of confidence that no worry, my form or they go. You understand? So I feel like there's a lot of things that we need to have a part 2 of these conversations, right?
Yeah, we will.
And I think people should also send us
questions.
their questions, or let us know their experience.
Especially your childhood trauma. Talk to us about it. What things happened in your childhood that you are living off right now, or that has become a hard part of you, and you're trying to break free from it?
There's real life for me.
There's a lot, my brother.
Because it's easy saying that, be disciplined, be checking about reality.
We don't know, like
we know
it hard.
We know some
but
people
it's not impossible.
Of course, it's not
hard.
impossible. We know some people that, as at 21, 22, families already expecting a lot from them. If family is already expecting a lot from a 21, a 22, how do you expect that kind of person to be in a good mental?
Just the person's already worn out. Before he hit that 30.
Like it's so crazy. I feel like people should just let us know.
Share your experiences with us.
Let's know.
Share your questions with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, on this week's episode of Luminary Lounge podcast, I'm sure you've learnt. I'm sure you have questions as well. Catch us in the next episode of Luminary Lounge podcast.
Please like,
subscribe on all social media platforms.
I know that there are some people that you just want to enter your 20s. You need this episode.
No, exactly.
So you that you are watching that you're in your 20s, share with them. Let them know.
In fact, you will be say you don't enter 30. Share with
your younger
ones.
Yes.
Just follow us, like, subscribe on every social media platform, on every streaming platform at the Luminary Lounge. Thank you so much. My name is Theophilus,
and I'm Ayekunt.
See ya in the next episode.
Peace out.